The red dealer plate came off the hook for the couple in matching linen jackets. Nora Kim scanned the man's license at the reception desk, printed a test drive waiver, and slid a black pen across the counter. A sales associate opened the key cabinet with his code. Another employee placed 2 espresso cups on porcelain saucers. "Take your time," Colin Mercer said, one hand on the glass desk. "We want the full experience to feel easy." The couple smiled. The Ferrari showroom on 5th Avenue was built to make money look quiet. White marble floor, chrome door handles, a row of low cars under clean lights. Near Nora's tablet, the noon appointment slot was already open. Walter Reed VIP test drive owner request. Do not cancel. Walter walked in while the printer was still warm. His flannel shirt was clean but faded at the cuffs. His work boots carried dry dust from a driveway. A dark oil mark ran along the side of his thumb from the Honda he had fixed that morning for a neighbor with 2 kids and a night shift. He paused just inside the door and removed his cap. No one offered espresso. Nora looked up first. Her customer smile started, then stopped when Colin crossed the floor before she could speak. "Good afternoon," Walter said. "I'm here for the test drive. Name is Reed." Colin looked past Walter through the glass wall to the old pickup parked between a silver Mercedes and a black Range Rover. "Reed," Colin repeated. "Yes, sir. My son arranged it." Nora's finger moved toward the tablet. The appointment line was still on the screen. Colin placed his palm on the edge of the cover and folded it halfway down. "Sir," Colin said, "this is not a walk-in environment." Walter kept his cap in both hands. "I understand. That's why I gave the name. We protect the client experience here." A man near the espresso bar turned his cup in the saucer and watched without lifting it. The linen jacket couple stood beside the red Ferrari coupe, waiver clipped to a leather folder. Walter glanced at the car. "That one's beautiful." "It is," Colin said, "which is why we have qualified handling procedures." The words were clean. The decision underneath them was not. Tessa Lane came from the sales desk with a brochure pinched between 2 fingers. It showed the used lot across town, bright blue letters over a row of older sedans. "Maybe this location is a better fit," she said. Walter did not take the flyer. "I'm not looking for a used car, ma'am. I'm here because my son told me to choose one." Tessa's smile pulled tight. "That's sweet." Colin turned slightly so the nearest staff could hear. "People say a lot of things when they walk into buildings like this." Walter breathed through his nose once. "Could someone please check the system?" Nora opened the tablet cover again. Colin snapped it shut with 2 fingers. "I already know what I need to know." At the far side of the showroom, June Avery stood near a delivery desk waiting for her new SUV. She raised her phone low against her purse, not high enough to make a scene. The camera caught Walter's cap, Colin's hand on the tablet, and the used lot flyer still hanging in Tessa's fingers. Colin took out his own phone. "For internal training," he said, though no one had asked. He aimed the lens at Walter's boots. "This is why we need clearer front door standards." Walter looked straight at the phone. "My name is Walter Reed. I have an appointment." Colin laughed once. "You have a story." He sent the clip to the staff group chat. Tessa's phone buzzed. Another phone buzzed near the key cabinet. A young salesman looked down and smiled into his collar. Walter stayed where he was. Colin nodded toward Frank Bell at the security desk. "Inventory safety concern. Please remove him from the display area." Frank came over with his hands open at first. "I can walk out," Walter said. "You don't need to touch me." Frank looked at Colin. Colin looked at the Ferrari. Frank took Walter by the upper arm. Walter's boots slipped where the marble met the display platform. His knee hit the floor. The sound was small, almost hidden under the showroom music, but June's phone caught it. So did the camera above the ceiling light. "Careful," Walter said, not angry, just factual. Frank pulled him upright and guided him through the sliding glass doors. The doors closed behind him while Colin smoothed his jacket and turned back toward the red Ferrari. Outside, Walter sat on the tailgate of his pickup with one hand on his knee. Through the glass, the linen jacket couple received the red dealer plate and a second espresso. Inside, Nora opened the tablet again. When Colin walked away, the appointment line had not changed. Walter Reed VIP test drive owner request. Do not cancel. Colin opened the incident field on his laptop and typed, "Unverified walk-in. Touched restricted display vehicle. Refused to leave." Walter's name was already on the screen, so why did Colin need the record to call him something else? Walter Reed stayed on the tailgate because standing made his knee pull tight. The old pickup ticked behind him as the engine cooled. A smear of oil still marked the side of his thumb. Through the glass doors, The showroom had already returned to polished motion. Espresso cups. Red dealer plate. A white microfiber towel sliding over the hood of the Ferrari he had been told not to touch. Colin Mercer came outside with his phone in one hand. "You're still here," Colin said. Walter kept one hand on his knee. "I'm waiting for my son." Colin looked at the pickup, then at Walter's boots. "Of course you are." He lifted his phone and took a photo before Walter could turn away. The shutter click was small, mean in a quiet way. Inside, Tessa Lane received it in the staff group chat. She added a caption under Colin's picture. "Still waiting for his son." 3 laughing reactions appeared. Then 5. A salesman near the key cabinet covered his mouth with a sales folder and looked toward the parking lot. Nora Kim did not react. She stood at the reception desk, with the tablet open under the counter. The appointment was still there. Walter Reed VIP test drive. Owner request, do not cancel. She took a screenshot. Then another one of Colin's incident note. Unverified walk-in. Touched, restricted display vehicle. Refused to leave. Nora's thumb hovered over the delete icon on the screenshot preview. She did not press it. She saved both images to a folder named Shift Notes. At the security desk, Frank Bell opened his vendor app and entered his own line. Manager requested removal. Subject stated he could walk out. No threat observed. He paused over the injury field, then checked minor contact. Customer stumbled. The box looked too small for what had happened. He submitted it anyway. Outside, Walter took out his phone. He did not want to make the call. Malcolm had planned the visit for Walter's birthday. Walter had almost stayed home after fixing Mrs. Lewis's Honda that morning. The belt had been loose. The radiator hose soft under his fingers. The driveway still damp from her garden sprinkler. He called. Malcolm answered on the second ring. "Dad, are you there?" Walter looked at the dealership sign above the glass doors. "I'm here." A pause. "What happened?" "There was a misunderstanding." "What kind?" "They didn't check the name. Manager said I wasn't on the schedule. Security walked me out." Malcolm's voice changed. It did not get louder. It got flatter. "Did anyone touch you?" Walter looked at the red mark on his sleeve where Frank had held his arm. "Yes." "Are you hurt?" "My knee hit the floor." "I'm all right." "Did they call me?" "No." "Did they check the tablet?" Walter looked through the glass and saw Colin laughing with Tessa beside the espresso bar. "I don't believe they did." Malcolm said, "Stay by the truck." "Son, we can just go home." "No, stay by the truck." The line ended. 6 miles away, Malcolm Reed stood in his office garage beside a black SUV with the driver door open. He called Iris Grant first. "I need evidence hold at 5th Avenue, he said. "Showroom cameras, appointment logs, key cabinet records, security vendor notes, staff group chat, and the incident report Colin just entered." Iris did not ask why before typing. "Preserve notice going out now. Add HR. Already adding HR. Add the security contractor. Done." Malcolm hung up and got in the SUV. Back at 5th Avenue, Colin set his phone on the glass desk and replayed the short video he had taken of Walter's boots. Tessa leaned over his shoulder. "Please tell me you sent that to the district thread." "Not yet," Colin said. "Let the floor enjoy it first." Nora heard that from the reception desk. She slid the tablet closer to her body and printed the noon appointment sheet. The paper came out warm and curled at the edge. She folded it once and placed it under the register drawer. A customer in a navy blazer walked past her. "Everything okay?" he asked, nodding toward the parking lot. Nora looked at Colin's desk, then at the drawer. "We're checking the appointment record," she said. It was the kind of sentence people say when the truth is present but not yet safe. June Avery sat in her car near the far corner of the lot, watching the video she had recorded. Walter's knee hitting the marble, Colin's hand closing the tablet, Frank's grip at Walter's arm. She opened a new post, typed a caption, and stopped before pressing share. She wanted to see what the dealership did when the owner arrived. At 1:15, the black SUV pulled into the lot and stopped beside Walter's pickup. Malcolm Reed got out, without locking the door. Walter tried to stand. Malcolm reached him first and put both arms around him. Through the showroom glass, Colin saw the embrace and straightened his tie. He moved toward the entrance with his customer smile ready. The doors opened. "Mr. Reed," Colin said. "Welcome. I'm sorry. We had an unusual situation earlier." Malcolm did not take the offered hand. "Where's the man you removed?" Colin's eyes moved past him to Walter. "He claimed he was your father." Malcolm looked toward Nora. "Please open the appointment record on the manager screen." Nora connected the tablet to the showroom display. Her finger tapped once. 2 lines appeared above the Ferrari. Walter Reed VIP test drive. Owner request treat as family guest. Below it sat Colin's incident note. Unverified walk-in. Refused to leave. 2 lines were on the same screen. One was the record. One was the cover story. Which one did Colin expect the showroom to believe? Malcolm Reed let the 2 lines stay on the showroom screen. Walter Reed VIP test drive owner. Request treat as family guest. Unverified walk-in. Refused to leave. The red Ferrari sat under the display light. The scuff mark from Walter's boot was still on the marble near the platform edge. Nora Kim stood beside the reception tablet with both hands flat on the counter. Colin Mercer looked at the screen, then at Malcolm. Mr. Reed, I can explain the context. Malcolm did not raise his voice. Start with the appointment. Nora touched the tablet. It was entered before opening. Owner request. It was never canceled. Malcolm looked at the key cabinet. Was the test drive key pulled? Nora checked the key control log. No. The cabinet was never opened for Mr. Reed. Malcolm turned to Colin. So the process never started. Colin adjusted his tie. There were concerns about inventory safety. Walter stood just inside the door, one hand resting on the back of a leather chair. His knee was stiff, but he did not sit. Frank Bell opened his security vendor app with a thumb that moved too slowly. Malcolm said, "Read your note." Frank looked at the floor first, then the screen. Manager requested removal. Subject stated he could walk out. No threat observed. A woman near the espresso bar put her cup down without drinking. Malcolm looked at Colin again. Your report says he refused to leave. Colin's mouth opened. No sentence came out ready. June Avery stepped forward from near the entrance. Her phone was already unlocked. I recorded it, she said, from the time he asked someone to check his name. She handed the phone to Iris Grant, who had entered through the side door with an evidence folder and a company badge clipped to her jacket. Iris watched 10 seconds, then stopped the video. Preserve all showroom footage, she said to Nora. Every camera. Last 2 hours. Export the staff group chat. Do not delete messages. Do not edit the original incident report. Tessa Lane's phone buzzed in her hand. Iris looked at her. Set it on the desk. Tessa set it down beside Colin's badge tray. Malcolm turned to Colin. Company phone. Badge. Manager key fob. Colin stared at him. You're firing me over one judgment call? No, Malcolm said. I'm removing you from the floor because you ignored the record, used security without a conduct basis, filmed a customer for ridicule, and entered a false incident note. The showroom gave small sounds after that. A drawer closing, a shoe shifting, a phone placed face down on glass. Colin pulled the key fob from his pocket and set it beside the phone. Then the badge. Then the company card. The plastic badge clicked once. Malcolm looked at Nora. Correct the customer record. Nora opened a new field beneath the original report. Her fingers moved carefully. Verified appointment. Owner request on file. No threat observed. Customer removed before verification. A correction timestamp appeared under the note. Malcolm read it once. Lock that version. Leave the original visible for review. Nora clicked save. Colin watched both records sit on the same screen. The lie did not disappear. It stayed there with the correction attached to it. That was the part he could not talk past. Iris turned to the staff. The group chat is under legal hold. Anyone who deletes a message after this instruction creates a separate issue. A young salesman near the key cabinet slid his phone into his pocket, then thought better of it and placed it on the counter. Malcolm looked at Tessa. You participated in the group chat and photographed him outside? Tessa folded her hands together. I didn't think. That is part of the review. He looked at Frank. Your vendor contract is suspended for this site pending investigation. You will provide a written statement before leaving. Frank nodded once. Walter finally spoke. So, Malcolm turned. Walter pointed toward the Ferrari with 2 oil-marked fingers. That engine deserves better than all this standing around. A short breath left Malcolm. Not a laugh. Just enough to soften his shoulders. He walked to the Ferrari and opened the driver's door. This was supposed to be your birthday drive. Walter looked at the seat, then at the steering wheel. For a moment, he saw the driveway from that morning. Mrs. Lewis's Honda with the hood up. A loose belt. A warm wrench in his palm. The kind of work no camera ever cared about. He lowered himself into the Ferrari. His calloused hands rested on the wheel. A faint oil mark touched the leather. Nobody reached for a towel. Walter looked at the dashboard and nodded. Somebody cared about the engine. Outside, June posted the video with a plain caption. She did not add music. She did not add jokes. She wrote what she saw. A dealership refused to check an appointment and removed an older black customer who was already in the system. Before the showroom closed, Iris sent one notice to every branch in Reed Automotive Group. Evidence hold. Customer treatment review. Appointment verification audit. By Monday, Reed Automotive had the appointment record, the corrected incident note, the key control log, June's video, Nora's screenshots, Frank's security note, the group chat export, and the ceiling footage. Colin was terminated for cause after HR completed review. He was barred from any supervisory role in Reed Automotive Group. Tessa was suspended and later removed from customer-facing work. Frank was released from the site, and the security vendor lost the Fifth Avenue contract. Iris reopened prior complaint files, tagged unqualified walk-in, proof of funds requested, and redirected to used lot. The pattern was not clean. It rarely is. That was why it mattered. Reed Automotive announced an independent customer treatment audit and a new verification policy across all branches. Lena Ortiz arrived from the Atlanta branch as the new general manager. Her first policy memo was taped inside the key cabinet. Check the appointment record before discretion. No customer recording for ridicule. No security removal without documented conduct. Every unqualified walk-in tag requires compliance review. 3 months later, Malcolm launched the Walter Reed Automotive Scholars Program for black students entering automotive engineering, trade school, and dealership operations. Walter attended the announcement in a pressed shirt, stood beside the toolkits, and gave one sentence to a reporter. Teach them the work, then give them the door. That was all. The next Saturday, Walter still fixed cars in his driveway. The Ferrari sat beside the old pickup in his garage. One had red paint and dealer polish. One had a cracked dash and a toolbox behind the seat. He drove the pickup to the hardware store. He drove the Ferrari on Sunday evenings, slow through the neighborhood, windows down. At the Fifth Avenue showroom, the old red dealer plate was mounted in the training room. Under it, Lena placed one printed line: check the record before you judge the person. When the correct record was already on the screen, who chose to type the lie? If you have ever seen someone hide bias behind policy or safety, leave a comment about the record they refused to check. This is a fictional story created for storytelling purposes.